Yeah, sorry about that, Darren says. Our meeting with the king took a bit longer than we anticipated. Oh, there's no need to apologize, Rose says. Some of the food is a bit cold now, but I'll go reheat it and you can all begin eating it about 20 minutes. In about 20 minutes. Just as promised. Exactly 20 minutes later, Rose comes out of the kitchen carrying 2 trays of food. I go to her side to take one of the trays off her hands, and then we all help her set the table at one of the larger picnic tables in the yard. Ella and the Rose siblings who are playing in the yard are now also joining us. Ella comes with the rest of us to help bring the remaining food from the kitchen. We spend the next few hours eating, drinking, and celebrating a long-awaited release from the arena. The food that Rose cooked for us was definitely tasty, but it had been a long time since we had the opportunity to taste any of the flowers' delicacies. So in the end, our feast was a combination of homemade and magically conceived food. As usual, Hardwick was more than happy to provide us the drinks for the occasion. Rose also made sure to supply with her special herbs so we could start fresh in the morning without fear of any hangovers. Since we needed to get up before sunrise the next day, we had to end the celebration early in order to... I think I've read this before. Next morning, while we are still dark, giving farewells, wish you all the best. Kate tells Rose after she's done her promise she'll never forget you. There you go again. Yeah, last time. I suppose you're right. You can come back. She waves at us, quicken our pace, participating in the Magium tournament. As she waves at us to make sure that we have spotted her, we quicken our pace. We get ready to finally take our first step towards our original goal. After much sidetracking and so much delays, at last we can get back to what we came here to do, participate in the Magium tournament. So we can get back to Melindra, and this should be the same with Melindra. Chapter 8. So I believe I try to convince Melindra to bring us down at this point where we were high up and they were shooting arrows at us when she was trying to like fly us over the main gate. So we are going to let Melindra deal with the situation however she wants. So you're not going to ignore that guy then, Darren says. Darren asks Melindra. Sure, why not? Melindra says. It's not like I'll ever see him again. Just make sure to deal with the arrows until we're out of their range. I mean, not you, someone else take care of the arrows. And Melindra's talking, the captain of the guards gives the order to attack. Now there are dozens of arrows heading our direction. As soon as she sees the arrow, Kate immediately conjures several shields made of ice which begin to move in the air all around us, preventing us from any projectiles. You know, it would have been much easier if you just killed the archers, Melindra tells Kate. I'm not going to kill the city guard for doing their job, Kate says in a cold voice. We are the ones in the wrong, not them. Alright, Melindra says. I'll try to increase our speed so we'll get out of the range faster. After about 20 more seconds, the arrows that were being shot towards us from the wall can no longer reach us. I'm supposed to get an achievement here. Did I already get it last time? But I didn't choose this option last time, but sure. Where are we? Great, Darren says we're still flying away from the city. I don't even want to think how much trouble you get there. Fine, just tell them that you want to speak directly with Golemuk and you go sort it out with him. Maybe he'll ask you to pay a fine, something. I'm sure he wouldn't send you to jail. Alright, this is a good place. I'm bringing you back down. Yeah, then we're moving down. And this is not a choice. I think this is where Melindra and us, we are trying to fight, and then there's this like an argument going on. Last time I asked her to demonstrate her powers. I'm not gonna ask her to do that this time. I'm just gonna say whatever. Great, Melindra says, let's get going. Melindra, can you take the lead? Yes, Melindra says. I was saying before I got interrupted, going through the forest is faster than taking the main road. Yeah, blah blah blah. After this we should be getting attacked some point. I think this is where we're talking about Aiden getting like imprisoned. I believe I asked how did he manage to get imprisoned when he had all those powers. I believe he was not a Stillwinter then. Not Stillwinter, fucking Stillwater. Was this before the Stillwinter? What was he being imprisoned for? I believe this is what I'm supposed to ask. Was this before the Stillwinter? What was he being imprisoned for? Yes, it was before the Stillwinter. I don't know what he was being imprisoned for. He never told me. Who was holding him prisoner, Kate says. I don't think I should be talking about this. Why not, Kate says. He didn't ask you not to talk about it? Something of the sort, yes. What about the trading partners thing you mentioned earlier? I think this is about the shapes and all that bullshit. We have already read this rock collection and all that. Knowing Melindra now that I've finished this book, I don't think she's that much of an issue. So, what do you all think about Melindra so far? So while making sure that Melindra is a bit attention to us, do you think that she might be working with Aiden? Nah, she seems alright to me. Well, Hardwick says, I'm not sure how alright in the head someone can be if they carry hundreds of useless rocks with them at all times. For no good reason, but at the very least I don't think she's an informant. We already knew she was friends with Aiden when we took her deal. There's no need to doubt her every step of the way. You're all looking at this the wrong way. It doesn't matter if she's trustworthy or not. As long as we don't discuss any crucial information while around them, Should be fine. Does matter, damn it. Aaron says, if we are all just going to lag behind like this every time when you discuss something important, it will look suspicious as hell. So what Kate says, why should we care if she thinks it's suspicious? Because she's a member of the team, is she? Listen, my question, yeah, this is the same. Then she's gonna be like, are you done? Yeah, whatever. Combat technique level 1 successful. The crossbow bolt hits him right in the forehead. This is when we are fighting the orcs. I don't remember if I did this last time or not, because I don't know if I had the combat technique and whatnot. So we'll read it. And pass through his skull as the mortar falls to the ground, dropping his sword. As I make sure that orc is dead, I suddenly realize that the 2 goblin mages the Maria talked about are still not made their appearance and whatnot. So let me check my stats. I do have 3 strength. Okay, that's good. Fight the orcs and send Flower to look for the goblin. Look for the goblin mages along with Flower and Luna. I think I just sent them last time, so I'll just send them again. There's no point, they will teleport out of here anyway. So sure. As I place the corpse in my backpack, yeah, same thing. It's just gonna send them. So strength check successful, level 3, and we're gonna pull out a scimitar this time, not a knife, not a dagger. Pull my scimitar out of a sheath and I hurry towards one of the trees surrounding our area. I then use my weapon to cut the tree in a single movement, and just as the tree begins to... Oh, in a single movement! Last time I had to hit it multiple times, I remember that. Barry had to hit it like constantly, and then it broke. I use my weapon to cut the tree in a single movement. Just as the tree begins to fall on the ground, I sheathe my blade. I grab the tree with both my hands in order to use it in my new weapon. I take a look towards the 3 orcs that were fighting Layla. I really want to read this, even though I've read this before. All of the combatants from the battleground seems to have briefly stopped fighting to look towards me, shocked expression on their face. I take advantage of their movement, momentary bewilderment, and make a dash towards the 3 orcs with the maces, and I immediately crush one of them underneath the weight of the tree trunk. Let's step away from the orcs, I say. Layla complies right away, and she puts as much distance as she can between herself and the 2 remaining mace-wielding orcs. Although one of them immediately begins to follow her, I swing my tree like a club and hit the orc that stayed behind from the side, completely crushing his internal organ, killing him before he hits the ground. Seeing that there is only 1 orc left aside from the captain, Layla stops moving away from the battlefield, and she dashes straight for her pursuer, slicing his neck open without giving him any time to react. Hardrick laughs all of a sudden. What a great idea! Why didn't I think of that? He's just gonna pull out a tree and they're gonna just start swinging trees. This is gonna be hilarious. You might want to move away from there, as I say, as Darren jumps away from our character and swing my tree at him in an attempt to squash him like I did with his companion. Yeah, this is the same. He's gonna cut the tree and all that. I believe I asked for the composition of the team last time as well. I don't know if I asked that actually, but that's what I'm supposed to ask here. Do all elite groups have the same team composition? No, Layla writes, I do not know exactly what kind of team members they have in each group, but I'm pretty sure they all have groups with veteran riders, and some of them have trolls with very high regenerative abilities. Regardless of what team Terra decides to send after us next, Luna says, what is most important is that we detect them before they actually have surrounded us. Yeah, whatever. If you want my help, then how about you fight seriously next time? What is that ridiculous performance of yours in the fight from earlier? Why didn't you use that drowning? Yeah, she hasn't practiced and all that. Alright. So here we're supposed to ask how many types of monsters does Tarath have under his rule exactly. So we're gonna ask that. I do not know all the details. Luna says, as far as I'm aware, the monsters that are by far the most loyal to the dragon are the orcs. They're not as strong as the ogres, but they're not dumb like them either, and they're generally more powerful than most humans. The orcs are the main force of the dragon's army, but he also have other variety of trolls, goblins, varans, hydras. There would be orcs. While it would be pretty unlikely to meet an orc in Varithia that is not served Tarath, there are plenty of ogres that have nothing to do with the dragon. Yeah. Who exactly is this Fyron? Why are you both acting like you've met him before? Fire is the general of the free goblins of Varithia. Okay, so how do you guys know him? You don't have known him since before she met us, I think. I met him while I was walking around the underground tunnels of the arena with Layla, trying to sabotage the event. You're trying to sabotage the... Darren says shocked, with his stops mid-sentence, shakes his head. Oh boy, nothing is ever simple with you, is it, Barry? So Harissa, I don't mean to interrupt a discussion or anything, but shouldn't we be getting a little worried about these well-trained groups of monsters? Yeah, this is the same thing after that. So this is where Melinda is saying that our name is very common. So I'm just gonna say it is indeed. I say, still not taking my eyes off my notebook. After I've been talking, there is a short period of silence during which I flip another one of my notebook's pages. I was curious about something. I know that you're half Lasethi. I also know that came here as a participant in the tournament, but as far as I'm aware, Lasethi can normally only be found in the continent of Varithia. So I'm wondering who your parents are exactly. Why did they leave this continent? If If you're talking about my real parents, then I most likely never met them, I say. I'm pretty sure that the parents who actually raised me were both regular humans. They're regular humans? Melinda says intrigued. Not are? No, I say simply, they are dead now. They are killed by a banshee. As I say those words, Darren, who was sitting on a rock not far from me sharpening his sword, seems to be paying a little more attention to our discussion. Suddenly realized that I never really told him how I met my first banshee. Killed by a banshee, Melinda says. What you, and you weren't there when this happened? I was there, and I'm the one who killed her. You killed a banshee by yourself? But the only way someone as powerless as you would have hoped to defeat a banshee would be to attack her in the most vulnerable state right after awakening, which means she pauses for a second as realization dawns on her, which means that the person who turned into a banshee was also part of your family, wasn't she? Melinda says, your sister perhaps, cousin, sister, I say, and you killed her with your own hands, Melinda says with a look of morbid curiosity in her eyes. How did the banshee look when she awakened? Did she really look like a genuine monster, like they say in the legend? What about your sister? Did it seem like she was still remaining? Yeah, blah blah blah. The same shit after that.